In the second part of this series, I went through 5 barriers: leave, workplace, timing of help, hospital practice, and who's awake with you at 2 a.m. Here's what I didn't say. Those 5 don't hit everybody the same way. And that's why this month looks a bit confusing. Because if you've been paying attention in August, you'd have noticed something strange. There's World Breastfeeding Week, there's National Breastfeeding Month, and then inside that month, there are more weeks. Several of them, each one for a different group and for a different reasonable person that looks at that and think, hold on, isn't 1 week enough? And that's a fair question. This week, August 15th through the 21st, is Asian, American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Breastfeeding Week. So first, what's actually on the calendar? Because most people have no idea how much is on it. And here's the useful part. The US Breastfeeding Committee, USBC, doesn't just list this. They sort them into 4 types. That sorting is basically the whole answer to the question. So the first type is global. That's World Breastfeeding Week, August 1st through the 7th. It was created in 1992 by the World Alliance for Breastfeeding Action, and it's observed in over 100 countries. So since 2016, it's been tied to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And in 2018, the World Health Assembly formally endorsed it. So that's one. So that's one's the big umbrella. That one's the big umbrella. So one message, the whole planet. Second type is national. All of August is National Breastfeeding Month. That was declared on August 6, 2011. And that was first week. And that first week is also National Week Breastfeeding Week, run by the Department of Agriculture. Still abroad. But now it's aimed at one country's policies and one country's programs. The third type is cultural, and that is where it opens up. Indigenous Milk Medicine Week, second week of August, created in 2019, and the AANHPI Week, third week, this week, created in 2011, and then Black Breastfeeding Week, the last week of the month, and it keeps going past August. There's Semana there's the Latina, and there's a Deaf and Hard of Hearing Breastfeeding Week, which is a little brand new, like this year. And then the fourth type, which almost nobody knows about, is social observances. They're not organized around a community, they're organized around an institution. And so there's a military lactation celebration, which has been running since 2015 for military families all over the world. And also there's the Workplace Lactation Week. Yes, why not? That one opens September and lines up with Labor Day on purpose. I think that's a bit intentional because the point is working parents. So that's not 1 week with some add-ons. That's more like a structure. 4 layers, each layer is doing a different job. Now the question is why? Here's the real answer that I can give, and to an extent it's a research answer. Because a national average hides everything that matters. Think about what an average actually is to you. You take a whole country, all of it, and you squash it into one number. Different jobs, different states, different hospitals, different histories with the medical system, different amounts of help at home, one number. That number tells you where the country is. It tells you nothing, absolutely nothing about who is carrying the shortfall. In public health, we call this disaggregation, breaking the number apart, and it isn't a formality, it's the whole ball game. Because if you design a program for the average person, you help the person who are already close to average, and you miss every other person, you miss everybody else. And so why each week exists? When you look at why each of these got created, it's the same story every time. Somebody broke the number apart, looked at it, what came out, and went, oh, that's a different problem entirely. Black Breastfeeding Week came out of 3 specific things: high Black infant mortality, a lactation profession with almost no black people in it, and cultural barriers specific to Black families. Indigenous Milk Medicine Week was created to uplift the range of native feeding experiences. And notice the name. It moved from Native Breastfeeding Week to Milk Medicine. There's a framing that came from inside the community, not one that was handed to them. The AANHPI Week was founded by the Asian Pacific Islander Breastfeeding Task Force around reducing inequities and normalizing feeding in communities where both practice and the support look different. 3 weeks, 3 different sets of barriers, 3 different sets of solutions. Those are not the same campaign with different faces on the postcard. And there's a second reason, which is about who is holding the microphone. Every one of this is led by people from the community it's for. Delivered. That's not symbolic, it's practical. Programs designed with a community and programs that are delivered to one. So that's a finding. That's actually in the literature. This is the self-determination in this year's RISE theme. Remember the RISE theme? That word is the acronym itself is on purpose. So isn't 1 week enough? No. Here it is one in a sentence. 1 week gets you one message, aimed at an average person who almost doesn't exist. 4 layers with the cultural ones led by the people they are actually about. That gets you messages that fit real lives. That's not the movement splitting apart. That's the movement getting specific. And so in the next video, probably the last in this series, Black Breastfeeding Week is Black Breastfeeding Week. So why it exists, what the numbers actually look like, and how you can take part. Thank you again for continuing in this series. I will see you again in probably the last part of the series. Again, I remain Metamorphosis with Toby.